Okay, everybody, welcome back. That took long enough. Oh god, that was my bad. I had to redo the tutorial bit that we just saw where the second emission hit. Because basically I pressed F9 and it got back to my quick save. Fun story. So yeah, we're back here. We're gonna ask the lieutenant, commander, whatever his title was, about what happened. How did I survive a second mission? Let's see.
You survived the emission again. I'm not even that surprised. Our boys picked you up not far from the tower when things calmed down a bit. You know, Bien Polev was right. You defy scientific explanation. He believes that you acquired some, let's say, unusual abilities, which help you survive anomalous activity that would literally tear anyone else down to atoms. Also, it looks like something is increasing your body's performance in several areas, to the point where our monitoring equipment goes off the scale. Wait. Don't get too excited. There's always a fly in the ointment. Every emission harms your nervous system, and if this continues, you will die.
Okay.
A normal emission is the release of energy accumulated in the zone. A discharge, if you like. But what's happening now is completely different. In my opinion, the increasing regularity of these emissions is the zone's response to some sort of serious threat, akin to the response provided by a human immune system. It is difficult to rationally explain coexistence between humans and the zone. The zone tolerates us in some areas and forbids us from going to others. Whatever is beyond the scorcher and further towards the center of the zone is taboo, a place where stalkers are not supposed to set foot. I think that recent events in the zone are related to the fact that someone broke that taboo and made it past the brain scorcher.
Oh my god, someone made it past the brain scorcher, which, well, you have no idea what it is, but I've read enough. It's like a kind of psychic field that turns you into a zombie and you die, basically.
It's hard to say. To answer that question, I would need to know what's in the center of the zone. Some say the monolith, others say the wish granter. The more unpretentious ones dream about fields of rare artifacts. I was at the power plant myself, a young specialist at the time, but I don't know what's there now. What I can say is that the scorcher appeared for a reason. It prevents the center of the zone from being reached. People cannot go beyond the brain scorcher.
Is there a real way past the brain scorcher? Even after
I didn't think so until the large emission. Hell, nobody thought so. However, if you consider the emissions to be a defensive reaction, then the answer is obvious. Someone made it through the scorcher, and the emission was the zone's response. And since the emissions haven't stopped, whoever it was must still be alive. The zone is trying to get them, and it's killing everything that's alive in the process.
Okay. What is the danger of such frequent emissions?
I know a lot about the zone, but I can't share everything with you. You'll just have to trust me on some things. A system, any system, needs to be in equilibrium. The zone is unstable right now, and this instability is increasing. If the constant emissions aren't stopped, the zone will become so unstable that a new disaster will occur. Which brings us to what Clear Sky is doing. We're trying to prevent that disaster.
Prevent the disaster. You're not even strong enough to fight off bandits.
You're right. But we do know how to prevent a disaster and stop the emissions. And that means something.
Lots of confidence you got there. So what's the plan?
We have to find out who was in the center of the zone and stop them at any price.
And why are you telling me this, of all people?
There's a strange connection between you and the zone. On the one hand, every new emission gradually kills you. On the other hand, you survive in situations where others don't stand a chance. My gut feeling tells me that your abilities, your gift, your curse, call it what you will, they mean you can get through places that others wouldn't even dream of. And at the moment, we need to act very quickly.
Not sure I want to jump right in the thick of things. Why do I have to take part in this?
I knew you'd ask that. The answer is simple. If the emissions aren't stopped, your nervous system will burn out and you'll die. Help us and you'll save yourself. Now this may sound like a line from a corny movie, but you really don't have a choice.
Looks like my options are pretty limited.
Unfortunately, yes. So, will you help us?
Yes.
Then listen carefully. We have made use of all our contacts and connections in the zone. As a result, we know that a certain stalker at the cordon was asking Sidorovich about some very strange components. That's all we have for the moment. But it's a lead.
That'll be fine.
Through
How
these
do I
swamps,
reach-
of course, how else? But remember what I said. After the emission, a whole army of all kinds of scum turned up in the area. Now they control almost everything. We are under siege, and I'm not exaggerating one bit. So before we can help you get to the cordon, we have to regain control of the swamps. And with your help, I think we should be able to do it.
Understood.
Start talking, buddy.
Okay. We're gonna help them. Nimble! Oh my god, I love this guy. Kind of nimble. He's in every Stalker game. He's one of the few characters that it's in every Stalker game. I think there's 2 characters only that's in all of them, and Nimble is one of them. And he always changes his role. Wait a minute, reaching the Great Swamp is easy. Our guides will lead you. But you have to actually survive there. You need to learn about the current tactic situation in your PDA's new features. So if you're curious about any of that, just ask. What must be done to gain control of that? Reduce the enemy numbers, or to put it simply, shoot down as many possible of those that are shooting at us. If you don't, our fighters will have no chance if you're in the Great Swamp. God, I'm sorry. What's the tactical situation like? In a word, shit. In 2, deep shit. Our fighters can hardly hold the Great Swamp. They're being constantly pushed back by the bandits and monsters. The enemy simply outnumber us. What? Capture conversation? What?
Your main guide is the objective section. Your main objective is displayed here, together with a selected additional objective. There can be several additional objectives which you can cycle through using these buttons. Most objectives are also displayed on the map, with the exception of rare occasions when your objectives cannot be located. We will need your help with not only destroying the enemy, but also capturing key positions. In these situations, our fighters will be grateful if you provide covering fire as they capture a position. By the way, don't ignore calls for help. Our boys' lives could be at stake. Hovering over a mark on the map will display additional information. In addition to your objectives, friendly units and identified enemies will also be displayed on the map. Okay, as I'm sure you understand, our main objective is to establish control over the swamps. And that means a war against the aggressor. This section allows you to access tactical information about combat operations at any time. Information about your current faction is displayed on the left. Right now, that's us. Clear sky. Information about the main enemy is displayed on the right. This shows our approximate combat strength. This shows how many fighters we have. And this is our equipment supply. Similar indicators are also shown for our enemy. Finally, This field allows you to see the current strategic mission as well as tactical objectives that must be achieved in order to complete the strategic mission. Completed strategic missions will be displayed at the bottom. The last tab allows you to view your current relations with all factions, as well as each faction's combat strength. Your personal stats are also displayed here. That's pretty much it.
What the fuck? Explosion. Oh, thanks. That's quite helpful.
Учиться. Я тоже хочу.
Like I'm not powered to hear enough. Hello, we're back. That was a minor setback. I crashed again and by the way, this game isn't crashing, it's just me. Well.
Visitor? Oh, welcome, guest from foreign lands. What come you with? A bursting purse? Or prized exotic wonders?
Need overflow, I got hit by the mission and barely survived. Total empty now. The mission seems to scatter all my goodness all over the
I
swamp.
heard your story. I reckon the main thing is that you're still alive. Stuff is easy enough to replace, so long as the zone is kind to you. So, we gonna trade, or you got some questions for me?
Yeah, even at the swamp. In a hush joint. Like this one, there's place a trader. What you know?
That's the sort of people we are. You can't buy an extra 15 minutes of life, or a spare store from death. But us traders are needed everywhere. Even in the zone, even in the swamps, and even underground. It's an illusion that the zone is under lock and key, and the army has all the ways in and out sealed. I mean, think about it. Nowadays, artifacts and rare specimens from the zone can be found all over the world. And your fellow stalkers never have a shortage of canned meat, vodka, ammo, or equipment. Somebody's got to be responsible for all that, right? Well, that's where we come in. In this place, it ain't like selling bootleg CDs on the outside with the cops up your ass every damn day. Around here, the situation is very simple. The outside world has an interest in the zone and vice versa. But it's officially forbidden, prohibited, and all that bullshit. That's what we're here for. We make sure all those interests are satisfied and everybody's happy. There's a joke among traders that if someone points a gun at you, your best bet is to try to buy it off them.
I see, except it seems to me that your business isn't steamed about.
Let's not talk about it. You have no idea how tired I am of peddling these trinkets. There's a ton of ordinary artifacts out there, but the best tidbits pass this place by. I haven't had a unique item in my store for ages. Who knows? Maybe stalkers have already found everything there is to find. Man, getting behind the Scorcher would be a dream. I heard you can get enough artifacts there to last you a lifetime. Provided your life doesn't end there and then. It's about time us traders joined forces and used our connections to find a way of getting past that thing.
You aren't the only one looking in that
Yeah, I know. Anyway, listen, I've told you too much as it is. Time is money. So if you want to trade, go ahead. If not, I'll see you around.
Huh? I'm gonna run a flash drive with data on soup like Kevlar armor.
Have a safe trip.
He doesn't have anything. I can actually sell this thing. That's gonna be all for now. I'm just gonna quit the recording for a while.